Zente. I'm a black belt from Austin, Texas. I'm fortunate enough to be able to come to these camps for the last few years. This is my third camp. And first one I came to as a purple belt, Copenhagen. Came back next year as a brown belt to the first New Hampshire camp. And now I'm lucky enough to be here with you guys for my third camp as an instructor. So thank you so much for being here with me on these mats. We all have our different journeys in jiu-jitsu and in life, and it's definitely been an interesting, at least it's a short last few weeks for me to get here, and I'm really grateful to be here because I almost wasn't able to make it. So thank you for being here, and hopefully I got some good jiu-jitsu for you. All right. So the idea here today is sweeps from when you're in a situation that you kind of recognize the guard is being passed and you're doing all the right things to try to recover guard, and it's failing, and you recognize that the sweep is, or the pass is imminent. And we can do a couple of things to set up kind of a last-ditch sweep. When they feel like their balance is settled, when they feel like the pass is complete, maybe their guard's down for that split second in between the guard pass and them settling into side control. Right? So that's the kind of the moment we're going to exploit. We're going to do it all in kind of slow motion at first, but the idea is to recognize the timing and the setup, and when your guard pass is, or when the guard is being passed, it's time to go to the next set. Okay? So the first idea here is just what to address when somebody's in front of me, right? A lot of us like to get really deep collar grips from guard, get that really anchor in the neck. That's not a bad thing, except the hands are already doing a lot of work while we're setting up upper body things. So the first thing I like to think about is that hand fight, right? The first thing the guy's in front of me, I want to make sure that if he gets the grips he wants, they become now also my grips. Okay, so I'm taking his grips and I'm making them anchored to me as well. So he might still have the grips he wants. I don't need to do some crazy grip break or anything like that. I'm just going to kind of anchor his grips to the place he wants them to be, so that if he decides to move on, he kind of can't. So I'm keeping his grips where they are. I'm going to let him start his process. So I don't know which way he's going to go at this point. Go back for a second. I don't know which way he's going to go at this point. So I don't want to necessarily start leaning towards one direction, because he could just easily stay behind me. So the first step is basically just keeping this person in front of me, right? I've got a guard, maybe I'm even trying to get up and he's picking my feet up off the ground, and I can't get those heavy feet enough to get a stand up. So all I'm doing here is anchoring on his grips, and as he passes left and right, I'm making sure that I have the nearest grip that he has, and I'm keeping him in front of me, okay? So this is basically a butt spinning drill, an avoidance of rolling to your back drill, right? And also just addressing that first immediate problem. Nothing fancy, you don't have to get a very specific grip. I like to kind of get a palm down, handful of gi on the forearm grip. This just keeps his elbows and his forearms at bay, so that his lower body can move around, but his anchors are down low, low, low on my guard, okay? So first off, we're just gonna partner and just do this drill. As he starts his grips and his standing pass, I anchor, and I spin with him. So he can go left and right. And I'm making sure that he's staying in front of me, and I'm driving his grips down towards my feet, okay? So that's where we're gonna start. This is just kind of the setup to maintaining the guard that we need to understand before we go into these little sweeps we're gonna do. All right, let's try it out. Think about, not so much that I'm trying to do like a spider guard pull and grip break and lean and all this. All I'm doing is, when he moves forward, I'm pushing his arm under him, okay? So it's just a push. And that allows me to lean my chest forward and maintain that forward balance. If I try to lean and pull, if he circles, I'm leaning on my back. So all the time I need to have that forward posture, and as he comes forward, I'm pushing. If he goes this way, I'll have this one, and I'm pushing it underneath him. So every time he comes to me, I push his arm. He comes to me, I push his arm. And I can go in the same direction that he's going, right? So he goes, I push, and I use that pressure to circle. I don't even have to circle myself. He circles, I push. He's kind of helping me circle the whole time. And it's a nice stiff arm out to the back. A lot of you have probably seen the Marcelo Garcia guard recovery, right? Where it's kind of, he's up, got that tricep push to guard recovery. This is all the same concept, and we're gonna get back to that as well for a different version of the sweep. But okay, so we'll go from there, okay? So we've got that initial push on the forearms, okay? And as he's making his circle, I'm trying to do all those things and trying to recover guard, but I've lost the battle, right? I couldn't get there. So at this point, I'm not letting go of the grip. I might be in Shitsville. He might have passed my guard effectively with his legs, but I'm still doing that same thing. I'm still driving his forearm down towards my feet. And that's the angle. I'm going down towards my feet with it, okay? So we get that angle all the way to the pass. We can recover a lot of ground from here. Same thing, I'm going up to my elbow and recovering all the way. So let's just get to that pass next. All right? Yes, sir, of course. So he stands, grabs the shins. I grab the forearms, which is basically the shins of the upper body, right? It's got to be kind of a equal grip. He's got the shins, I grab the forearms. Think about it that way. As he turns, I'm pushing, and I'm trying to circle. He might land heavy. That's okay. I post, and I sit. He doesn't have anything to base on that side, so it's hard for him to recover that circling. If he continues to circle, that's going to be our sweep. So let's just get that basic guard recovery from the, he's got the pass. I'm stiff arming down towards my legs, recovering, squaring back up. So what we'll do next, after we do that one, is actually taking advantage of the pass to get the sweep, okay? So let's understand that recovery, and we'll come back and get the sweep. Be there, we want to sweep. We're tired of getting our guard passed. So a lot of times we get into like a points mentality, or maybe just a sequential mentality, and it's easy to go, I'm fighting. Oh, he's got the guard pass. I need to frame now, which is not wrong, but I've given up that really great anchor that I have. He's got the guard pass, but I still have this really great grip. And if I go straight to my frame before using something about that grip, he's going to have a free pass to settle into side control, okay? So there's kind of two variations, or two different sweeps that I like to use in this situation, depending on if my back is kind of arched away from him, so go that way. Depending on if I kind of have this lean, or if I have, go back, same way, or if I kind of have this lean. There's two different ways to go, depending on which way kind of I turn or get turned. It's not up to me all the time, which way I turn, right? So the first one we'll do is if I'm maintaining a frame, okay? I'm trying to frame into him, I'm trying to have, go ahead a little bit on this side, trying to get my shields in, my frames in and guard up in a traditional way. Back to guard, right? That's a more straightforward frame and guard situation. So we'll go off of that one first, okay? So we're trying to do all that stuff. He's circling, I'm pressing and framing. And this time, I've lost the battle and I'm facing him. So rather than letting go of this bottom grip, I'm driving it as far down towards my feet as I can. I'm gonna reach over as big of a hug as I can get, and I'm gonna grab as much lapel as I can get. Not trying to grab anything specific. Sometimes I just grab chest or stomach or armpit or face apparently. Grab the lapel, grab the chest, hug him tight, and I'm going to start walking. So I'm still pressing. I start pulling. Underhook happens at this point of when he falls, and I turn over into side control. Okay. So it happens real slow for the drill. Sometimes it happens kind of slow in real life too, because the balance is like almost there for the side control guy, but it's not quite there, which is kind of what we're trying to hope for, okay? Hoping for them to commit some balance in a place that they don't really have balance. Okay, so I got my grips. He starts to circle, I'm trying to frame and block. I grab, I underhook, I gotta clear the head. Set it into your favorite form of side control. Okay. Make sure you settle into side control though. Don't just get the sweep and kind of roll off the partner, because landing heavy is 99% of this. Like if you get a sweep, you don't land heavy, it's not worth a damn, right? If you don't land with any kind of control, they'll just flip you back over, or they'll recover the position, right? So make sure that you land your sweep with weight, with gravity, right? So I'm turning with him, I'm shoving that wrist under, I reach over, I start walking. There's a point at which he tips. Tip, underhook, turn, heavy. Make sure you land with some structure to your side control, whichever one you prefer, okay? Can you see that again, anybody? Yes? Okay. One more time. Still blocking those immediate threats, the forearms, as he circles. I'm trying to recover. I reach over. I start walking my feet. Still pushing the tip, the underhook, the gravity. All right? So make sure that when you do this, the thing I like to see the least on a good sweep or a good pass is, hold on, go back. Let's do it again. Is knees, right? So don't do that. Land with your chest. Don't land with your knees. We're using the underhook to apply weight. So I turn, I get this underhook, and I start leaning on it. I'm heavy on the underhook. Okay? I'm out on my knees. I might graze the mat briefly. Cool? Let's try it out. All right, I guess we're moving kind of quickly, but that's all right. Okay, so we got kind of one side covered, and we'll still work on that a little bit, but now we have kind of what happens when they either switch sides on you. So we're working on option A, recovery, and he switches sides, and now we're facing a little bit away from him, but we still have that same grip. Or it's just the first run, he didn't switch sides, and I got a little bit turned away from him, okay? So now that we've learned the first sweep, we've also learned that butt scoop, recovery, elbow push, we're gonna use a little bit of, Kyle especially, light on his feet. So a guy like that isn't going to get to this point over here and smash heavy like the wrestler would. This is a little bit tricky for this particular pass, right? But what I'm working on here is the guy who recognizes that his base is taken away and he wants to get light on his feet to recover that space, right? So I've got my elbow push happening. He's going for the pass. I'm trying to recover that elbow push, and he goes up to his toes to make a little extra weight and a little extra mobility. So this time, instead of going out, because he's up on his feet, he's gonna move well. So me trying to scoop my butt is kind of a hard thing to do at this point. I'm gonna go the other direction. I'm gonna go underneath him more. Okay? So he's heavy, heavy, heavy. He goes light. I fill that space. Okay? So we're doing our normal game, playing the game. He goes around. I'm trying to scoop. That's fine. I'm trying to scoop my butt, and he's standing. Again, off the knees, right? So, all it is that same stiff arm. I try to recover. He's tall. I'm going to fill that space with my butt. My stiff arm maintains. I might go like a little lower to kind of duck under him. Now his ribs are on my back. I'm going to use my elbow to push. And I just keep that pressure on the elbow. Kyle's a really good break faller, so it sounds awesome. I'm trying to recover. I can't recover. I can't recover. Okay, so let's do it slowly. Partner, make sure that you're leaning and standing. If you just lay on your partner, it's a different thing, okay? So be a good uke. Be a good guard passer, good standing guard passer. And make sure you find that spot where, when they stand, you feel their weight. Ah, there it is. on your shoulder, and you are shoulder to shoulder. Almost fake like a forward roll. But just the hips. Side control. Cool? Let's try out. We've got a guard pass imminent. Or maybe we can even, for this one, allow the guard pass. God forbid, right? We allow the guard pass, just so we can exploit what they think they've got. Okay, we kind of open this door for them, and then when they think they've walked through it, you slam it in their face. Okay? So this one's from half guard. If I'm in a bottom half guard that I can't quite win the upper body battle, but you know, I can get to lockdown. This is the one we're talking about. So I've got I'm flattened out. I'm not able to work yet, but I've gotten that lockdown from the outside in. So the outside lockdown, just using this to keep my opponent low in my guard. I'm trying to get him down low so I can get underhooks, so I can stop getting my face smashed, all those things. I'm using that extender half guard, okay? And now, doing this, one of my priorities here is not Eddie Bravo style lockdown. It's instead of going for double unders, what I'm trying to do is to get him to commit his arm to my face so that I can misdirect it, okay? So I want him to, using my lockdown to maintain that pressure release from the top, I'm using my cross face defense and guiding it across my body. So I've got my lockdown and I've got his arm into where he's thinking about back step passing, prying that knee out, all those things. We recognize this position a little bit, then in some kind of version of this, lockdown, cross, half guard, okay? So this is our scenario for when, oh shit, my guard's getting passed, what do I do? And right, if we're not aware of our grips, we're just trying to recover guard, he back steps, damn, or mounts, is even worse, okay? What we want to do is recognize the danger we're in and get a few grips so that if he passes, or if we allow him to pass, we can exploit that pass, okay? So the first part of this is to not let him get high up where I'm long, extended, and my weight on my top half and my bottom half, and I've got a lot of trouble going on. So if we're in this world, I'm using my lower half guard to keep him low, and I want to get my elbows in, and I want to put him on my belt. If I can get his ribs on my belt, I've got a lot of things I can start to do behind him when he's not paying attention, okay? First of which is going to be that same kind of grip we had on the outside of the elbow, we're going to get on the outside of the thigh. Right over here, same like stiff arm down towards his knee. So now, if he wants to put his knee over here, he doesn't get to do that, okay? So we're blocking that knee, keeping it down low by our hips. Same grip is applied to his elbow. I'm doing lockdown. I've got an elbow grip or a tricep grip. I'm doing kind of a double push. Now, if I just do this from here flat, I ain't getting anywhere. What I want to do is sit up under my elbows. So I'm blocking his knee, I'm blocking his elbow, and I'm scooting away from him. He's trying to scoot this way, towards my head, trying to scoot towards my head. And I'm moving away, right? Now at this point, when I feel like he really wants that bad, he really wants to push on me, he really wants to back step, I'm going to allow the release. Or maybe he pulls it out and I've got my grip set up. Same circle. Okay, we've taken away 2 bases this time instead of 1. So he back steps, commits that turn, or maybe we bait the back step by opening our lockdown that we've been committed to for a while. We've been really annoying with the lockdown. Right, not letting him have his knee at all. Really threatening down there. Pushing him away. That lockdown's evil. He wants to get rid of it. He hates it. We go, okay, you can have it. Okay. That was the faster version. We can do the slow one to drill though. So the slow one to drill is lockdown, cross face, pass the elbow, hold the elbow, hold the tricep, whatever kind of grip you can get on the gi, on the shoulder, or I can start that process of getting up to my elbows or pushing him down low at least. I'm up on his hip, it's not gonna work. Way down low. So the drill is here, as I release my lockdown, I'm gonna keep him down this way. So if he wants to back step there, he might feel pretty comfortable, but he doesn't get to turn his body back flat, like this, right? So even if he tries to do that, if we're really lucky, we land in this nice, cozy pillow choke, right? Which actually land there a lot because their arm is already pulled across their body for the sweep, because they've committed that turning, back-stepping half guard. Right. So lockdown, cross face removal, sit back, let the back step happen, or it happens by itself. All right, good night. Good with that one? One more time? Yeah. One more? Okay. There's a little bit of, if you notice, all these things have a common theme. They're circular. Okay, so if you, at any point, bring any of these sweeps, try to do a barrel roll, it doesn't work. There's no like log rolling that happens for these. They're all based on taking a base or two and circling the situation until the weight has to land on one of those bases. So he might backstep, and I might have to like really circle to get him to commit the weight to that one corner that I want. Okay? So remember, as you circle, as the back step happens, that's your moment of walking. That's when you gotta be moving in the circle even more. Your back steps. Side control of your choice. Yeah? Let's do it. Last round.